Just know upstairs I'm going hard. Bing bong. Hopefully that works as a bit of a visual hook. Boys, today we got a pretty simple one, but you need to start creating something. It's time for you to stop consuming. And as soon as you make this change in your life, the sky's really the limit. You see a lot of YouTube videos. Well, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos recently popping up of people saying, it's time to stop consuming. It's time to start creating. And it's true, but a lot of these videos horribly overcomplicate the problem. It's actually a really, really simple thing to do. If you look, if you go on YouTube now, you search up create, don't consume. Probably the first 10 videos will go through like 5 or 10 action steps you got to take to help you create and not consume. But it's not that hard, lads. If you are going to start creating instead of consuming, which you absolutely should do, if you need to go on YouTube and find 10 points to help you succeed, you've already lost. It comes down to something really, really simple that you're either going to create instead of consuming or you're not. If you got with anything in life, if you have to go and find 5 points to help you do this correctly, you're not going to succeed. Like when I first started with this idea and I actually seriously started creating instead of consuming, the only thing I did was get a Sharpie one night, write in my little handy dandy notebook. I wrote, one mission today, do not engage in any form of content consumption. And that was it. All you have to do to start doing this successfully is just completely cut out content consumption. Don't pick up your phone and scroll through Instagram. Don't open the YouTube app and watch it with your lunch. As soon as you cut out the consumption, you fill up all this real estate in your brain and you've got no real choice but to create. So when you do this, don't look for some big 10-point list of things you got to follow. Just cut out the consumption and you free up all this time and all this energy, and creation's a natural thing that your body wants to do. That gets dulled by the consumption, cut out the consumption, and you've got all this creative fire just ready to lay out in front of you. And there's good news for you. If you're someone who likes to pick up their phone and just scroll on it all day, watch another reel, oh, I like that, send that to the boys group chat, that's a funny meme, bit of brain rot, all that good stuff. Well, congratulations, you've got dedication, well done. All you got to do is instead of using that for consumption, cut out your consumption and you've got all this creative juice ready to go. Whatever your addiction is, turn that addiction into the thing you're going to create. I remember seeing a podcast clip of Andrew Tate back when he was in his sensationalist days trying to get some attention on social media. And he was saying to these lads on his podcast that he gave himself a phone addiction because that's where the money and where the bitches are. And he says it in a funny way, but he does make a good point. If you use that tool you're already spending all this time on, but instead of consuming and seeing what other people are doing, you just create, you've got this sort of massive opportunity right at your fingertips, but no one's using it. There's something called the 99-1 rule. So 90% of people on social media are just observers. They're just the creepy person standing in the corner of your bedroom, gnawing on a pickle while you're trying to sleep at night. 9% of people are people who actually contribute a little bit. Maybe that guy comes from the corner, he dangles a pickle in your face a little bit. And then 1% of people are people who are actually creating. So if you're consuming stuff on social media, it might seem like there's actually not much market because you see all these people with already so much of the pie. But if you just start creating, you're already ahead of 99% of people who haven't even thought to do that. I might actually edit out that pickle analogy. That might be too much. Still got to sound serious. So when we think about it that way, it seems like a no-brainer. You just start creating now and it's all sorted. So what's the big reason that people aren't creating? Well, the number one excuse I've heard from people that prevent them from just starting, and the excuses I was using a lot before I actually set up my camera and tripod and just started trying to make content, they want to learn more first. They use learning as procrastination, because the misconception a lot of people have about creation is that creation is about the finished product. Creation is about the final result you put out. So for me, when I first wanted to start a YouTube channel, I start looking into, okay, how do I make the best thumbnails? How do I make the best hooks? How do I make the best scripts? Trying to learn, thinking I can't actually put out this product until I've got it perfect, until I've got every single thing aligned, got all my ducks in order. I can just line them up and douche, 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 douche. But that's not how it works. The process of creation is about the whole process. That's what creation is. It's the process from start to finish. It's the learning. It's the person you create out of yourself during this process. That's what creation actually is. It's not just this finished product you put out. And the best way to learn something is through doing it. The path illuminates as you walk it. If you know what your first step is, just take that first step. Once you've completed that first step, you will know what the second step is, and so on and so forth. But if you're standing at the start and you're going, okay, how am I going to get to that finish line there? And you're trying to study, and you're trying to draw out your plan. Okay, we're going to go left here, we're going to go right here, we'll go up, we'll go down. Then you'll never get off the start line. The person who spent about 30 seconds Googling your topic and then doing the first step is already ahead of you. So just start, boys. Just take that first step, and then you're set to go second, third, fourth. It'll compound, it'll build up, you'll learn more, you get more confidence, you'll make better content. But the only thing you have to do is start. And so what should you create? The only question you need to ask yourself when you're thinking about this is, would I consume my own content? If the answer is no, get rid of it. That's not what you should be making. If you try and create content which you think other people are going to like, if you create content for other people, your heart's not going to be in it. You're going to burn out after a while because this is not actually your passion. The point of creation is to be the most authentic version of yourself and create what you think, what you feel, what you see, what your understanding of something is. It has to be something which is deeply personal to you and that you put out, and you will not burn out. If you're creating something that you enjoy, something that you would consume yourself, then you're never going to burn out. It's just going to add fuel to your creative fire. And if you're at this point at the beginning of a creative journey where you don't want to start because you're scared of how other people might perceive it, if you just create the first thing, just whatever you have to do, force yourself to create the first thing. Once you do that, you get that little rush, that little bit of a tickle, that little high of creation, and that'll give you the fuel for the second thing. So the hardest part is just that first piece of content you put out. Put out that first piece of content, you'll get the fire for the second. Beautiful. Put out the second piece, you get the fire for the third, and that fire will build and build into this big creative empire where you're just pumping out all this content. And that's the exact opposite of where you probably are now, which is just consuming all that content, just eating it up like your favorite dessert. So whatever you are currently consuming, flip the script, stop consuming completely. Don't try and overcomplicate the process. Just say, okay, no more consumption for me. Start to work on getting your creative fire. Start to put your content out. Don't stress if it's a bit shit. It will be. That's just a fact of life. I think my content's still pretty rough, but I'm working on it. And that's really all there is to it. It's super, super simple. You learn along the path, and the only real action step you have to take now is just start. It's really that simple, boys. Hopefully this was useful to you, lads. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.